as you know, when you don't know anything about the publishing industry, you can run into a lot of pitfalls. I was one of those people where, you know, when I went to college, I was thinking that I was going to be, you know, working for someone for the rest of my life and for a degree. But when it was prophesied to me that I would be a speaker, way back in high school, I never really paid attention. And then in 2003, after I went through a lot of struggles and stuff, it was prophesied that God had a plan for me. I had no idea what that was. And so in 2008, after a lot of hardships or strongholds or whatever you want to call them, trials, tribulations, I realized that it was time for me to just birth out something. You know, something was inside of me and I needed it out. And I knew that because I always wrote down notes and stuff. But just to take you back to the earlier part of me, when the notion to write a book came in my mind, and even to speak, I said, I'm a horrible writer. I write real fast. I'm not, you know, it's not nice and neat. It's just,
You too.
Then, I'm geeky, so I talk real fast. So, you know, I put all this stuff and I'm like, that's not me. And then I'm tongue-tied, like, my words sound different sometimes. And so, you know, I had all these thoughts, like, no, I'm not going to make it as a speaker. But I realized that when you have a subject matter that's important, all that stuff goes out the window. If you're an expert in your subject, people are not going to notice your blemishes. They want the information. And then when God said do it, I said, okay, Lord, I'm looking at all this that's wrong with me. I'm nobody, and you want me to do this, you know, this. And so I said, okay, Lord, I'm going to do it. My sister-in-law died in a plane crash, and I had waited about 2 months before I actually started doing it. And my sister-in-law died in a plane crash, and a lot of y'all may remember this in 2007 in Sanford. There was a woman that died, baby died. Yeah. And
Jesus.
so she came to me in a dream. Her name is Janice Woodard. And this was 2 months after God said, your gift is knowledge. I blessed you with knowledge. And she came to me in a dream and she said, when are you going to write that book? Because what had happened was, when I graduated from college, life hit me in the face. And I'm thinking that, you know, I got a master's degree and I'm going to make all this money, and that didn't happen. And so in college, I love to research and I love to write. And so I had already started writing books. Matter of fact, I had wrote 3 books prior to 2003. So I'm going to walk you through my little struggle with 2003 and why I gave up. 2003, I had wrote Next Generation Slavery because I had, you know, been discriminated against, and I felt like this book needed to get out. That book never got birthed out. And I wrote another book about my trials and what I went through as a young child, having a baby early, the struggles I went through at college, and I wrote that book. Then God birthed out another book, 3 books before 2003, and I still have those books, and they never got published, and I'm going to tell you why. So when I got saved in 2003, the 3rd book came out. So I'm always writing, and so when the 3rd book came out, when I actually wrote it, I wrote the book in a week. It was on my testimony on how God brought me out of darkness to the light, because I was just so flabbergasted about, you know, being saved and, you know, being born again and doing things right. And then I compared the darkness and the light and all that stuff, and I'm like, okay, I was excited. And so what I did was I researched the publishing market, self-published, and you know, having a publisher like Mr. Gabriel said. But what happened was, I wrote the query letters, I did the synopsis, I did all that stuff, and sent it off. And I got all these letters back in return that said, you're not good enough, or, you know, just stuff like, you're not good enough, or we need more. And so, yeah, it was very discouraging for me because, you know, after I did all that and put all my time, nobody would accept the work. And I remember the last letter I got back from the company, they told me that focus on my subject, something that I'm good at.